Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Marc here for Santino Cigars and Cocktails, Santino Sunday Cigar Review. Coming back this week for this week's Just a Tip, and we're going to talk a little bit about that famous question a lot of tobacconists get when you walk into a humidor. Hey, do you have any Cubans? Or what's the closest thing to a Cuban? Or what's the closest thing you've got to the price of a Cuban? We're going to settle in on some of those. We're going to talk a little bit about the difference and reasons why you might settle somewhere else. All right, everyone, so we're going to start off with the question everyone always gets. This here is a true Juan Lopez Cuban, a Habano Puro, straight out of a Habano USA store. So this is typically, you're not going to find these in a United States tobacconist simply because we can't legally sell them. Now, these are part of my private collection here. This is why they sit in my locker. And I want to present these, and I actually show these to customers that want to talk about Cubans. You hear the question all the time when it comes to a Cuban. Do you have anything like a Cuban, pairs with a Cuban, as good as a Cuban, or even maybe better than a Cuban? Well, with the embargo, everyone knows how the embargo went into effect. And when Cuban rollers left Cuba, they went to two distinct places initially, and of course it's spread around since. You've got Nicaragua, and you have the Dominican. Now, these two cigars here, the LFD Lennox, a true Dominican cigar, and the Casa Fernandez Aguanos de Leaf Signature Selection. Both of these cigars, especially if you want experienced American smokers, the way I'm going to put this, you can take either one of these cigars, and they're going to give you more of a flavor profile, more of a strength profile, and more of a designed, achieved profile you're looking for in a cigar. When you take a Cuban has its own distinct taste. Cubans have not changed since they started rolling them to the time they roll them now. Just because the embargo went into effect does not mean that Cubans change their cigars. They're the same way. If you're looking for a cigar that's got more flavor, more profile, more well-designed, something that's going to cost you less than a Cuban, you look anywhere to a Dominican-made cigar or a Nicaraguan-made cigar. This is where the rollers went to create their product. I urge everyone that if you want to try something outside a Cuban, if you can't get your hands on a true Cuban, find yourself a Nicaraguan Puro, even a Dominican Puro, and play with it and see how you feel about it. That's this week's Just a Tip.